So I thought about making this video to talk about an interesting discussion, and it's something I've noticed while just surfing through the internet about Doom Eternal, and the discussion is, should Doom Eternal have mouse and keyboard support on consoles? I honestly think it would be cool to have a mouse and keyboard support on the, console versions itself, but at the same time, I feel like it shouldn't happen. Let's be honest here, controller is the primary peripheral for consoles, and I think it should stay that way when you play Doom Eternal on the console versions. I do believe Doom Eternal is a game that's more favorable to the mouse and keyboard than the controller, and in 2016, when we take kind of like the controller gameplay aspect, like which one feels better compared to the two games, I do think 2016 is better on the controller when we compare it to Eternal's controller experience. Eternal is just a lot more heavier on the micromanagement, which is why I think it's more favorable to play it with the mouse and keyboard compared to 2016. Quick switching is much more important than ever. You have to constantly dash, flame belch, and you have to fumble with the weapon wheel a lot more because weapons in general in Eternal are much weaker. In 2016's campaign, as long as you have the remote rocket launcher detonation mod and it's reasonably upgraded, the mastered siege mode Gauss cannon and mastered stun mod plasma gun, you can pretty much beat Ultra Nightmare fairly convincingly. Same thing when it comes to snap map. As long as you have the super shotgun and rocket launcher combo, you can pretty much handle like almost any kind of fight. In Eternal, there's no such thing as like the quote-unquote ideal weapon combo. You have to switch to so many different kinds of weapons depending the fights you encounter and situations. You can't use all the meta weapon combos in 2016 and be able to pull it off in Eternal. And this is one of the things I kind of noticed something when I switched the two games constantly, because I do feel like, I am enjoying the game more on 2016 from a mechanic standpoint, mainly because it's just more controller friendly, since weapons are much stronger in terms of their power, their ammo, and they're way more versatile in many situations, unlike in Eternal. Just in case you guys don't play Doom with the controller, I'll explain how the weapon wheel system works in the two games. Basically, in 2016, you use your sticks to choose one of the weapons that is mapped on it, and there's actually a delay when you hold that particular button that is your weapon switch command. Eternal improves the 2016's weapon wheel system by reducing the delay, and the censoring is better too, because in 2016, when things get crazy, sometimes you can accidentally switch to the wrong weapon because you are using your sticks to aim and move, and sometimes if you don't time it properly, it can screw over your weapon switching. There's no debate that having a weapon system where you can carry more than 4 weapons is definitely more favorable on the keyboard due to the excessive amount of command inputs you have versus a controller. But that doesn't mean it cannot work on the controller. I would like to see a patch where we have the option to possibly reduce the weapon delay. Like, what happens if I can instantly hold my Y button and it just goes straight into the weapon wheel? Will this allow me to have better control over my weapon switching? Also, another thing is, like, with that change, will I be able to, like, play the game a bit more aggressively than I normally would? I also believe its software should include a dedicated super shotgun button, just like in 2016's campaign you had a dedicated BFG button. I think the super shotgun is really the most versatile weapon out of all the arsenal in Eternal because of the meat hook. It's literally your ultimate safety net, and it would be nice to conveniently just whip that weapon out without going to the weapon wheel constantly. I personally think the down D-pad on my controller layout, which I play on, is strafe layout. It's just a button that shows your challenge progress. It's really useless because you can see all your challenge progress in the dossier button, so there's no need to have it really. I think it should be removed and replaced with a dedicated super shotgun button, or include that on my left stick, because my left stick actually doesn't have any command inputs when I press on it. Those are some of my suggestions for improving the controller experience for Doom Eternal. Obviously, controller players are never going to perform the same way like the guys can with the mouse and keyboard, where you can totally play more aggressively with the constant fast and smooth weapon switching. But I do like playing with the controller, mainly because it requires you to play it smart. And I'm really that kind of player. I generally feel like my decision making is the strongest aspect of this game, not my shots or my movement. it's very possible to play well with a controller in Doom Eternal too. I've lost count how many times I've beaten the main campaign on Ultra Nightmare, and I'm actually in progress of another Ultra Nightmare campaign playthrough, and I'm just doing it for the fun of it, you know. I also haven't played the main campaign in a while, and my first session went really smoothly. I didn't die at all. I made it to the Gladiator boss fight, and I plan on finishing everything once I hop on to Eternal again. So those are just some clear evidence that you can, like, you know, play really well with the controller, and you can, like, you know, conquer this game. And I personally don't think, like, you know, mouse and keyboard is needed for, you know, a game like this. Even though, yes, I do believe it is a better way to play Doom Eternal with the mouse and keyboard, because you have way more flexibility and you don't have to, like, fumble with the weapon wheel. But then again, I do think, like, you know, id Software did a good job with what they did to make, like, you know, all these mechanics, which is more favorable to, like, the mouse and keyboard, work well with the controller. So yeah, I'm curious of what you guys think about this topic, especially the people that beaten Doom Eternal on Ultra Nightmare with the controller. What do you personally think about it?